problems, decimals are okay. So I'm going to write myself that note. Decimal answers are okay for real life problems. Put real life in quotes. All right. So this is part of the reason I didn't want to do this example yesterday, because it kind of seemed tricky for me to say no decimals, but then this one is okay. So I figured just doing it a different day might be better. So that's why I saved it for us for today. All right. So a diver is jumping off of a platform that is 10 feet high. Her arc can be modeled by, okay, let me give you the equation. This isn't something you would have to come up with. Negative 4.9 x squared plus 2.5 x plus 10. So again, you're going to be given the equation. This was just like a fill in the blank spot in the notes. This isn't an equation you would have to like somehow come up with on your own. Do you see where the plus 10 at the end came from though? That the person was already 10 feet in the air. And the value in front is giving you your gravitational coefficient because you're going to get pulled down to earth, right? You're not going to jump off the diving board and forever go up. You're going to go up and you're going to come down. So that's why that's negative.
Is it negative 4.9 x squared because 2 times that is 9.8 and 9.8 is the gravitational pull that you have on?
I would guess so. Yes, there are different gravitational constants depending on what we're measuring in. If we're measuring in feet per the weight, it just depends. All right. Here we go. Ready? So we've got y is the height and x is going to be the time. So those are our two kind of factors that are in this one. What is my a value in this kind of ugly looking equation? Negative 4.9. What is my b value? What is my c value? 10. Okay, so our values aren't nice, but we're still going to use the same equation. Remember my trick of the trade from yesterday? If you're having trouble memorizing the equation or you're worried you're not going to memorize it, you can just write it every single time before you do the problem. It's not going to take you much longer, right? Maybe an extra 2 minutes total, but that extra 2 minutes is worth it if that equation gets stuck in your head. All right, here we go. Opposite of b. What am I going to put in for that? Negative 2.5. Plus minus. Square root. 2.5 is going to be squared. In a parenthesis house. Minus 4. Times a. Times c. Do you see why I said calculators are going to help us? All over 2 times a. And that is one of our gravitational constants for sure. Negative 16 is another. We've got different ones. All right. So what I'm going to do is the same steps that I was doing yesterday. So I'm going to do negative 2.5 plus minus. Here's my square root. In the bottom, I get negative 9.8 when I double this negative 4.9. I'm going to figure out what this is. I'm not going to square root it yet. I'm just going to figure out what lives under the square root. So, parentheses, 2.5, close it, square it. Minus 4 times negative 4.9 times 10. Did you guys get 202.25? Okay, me too. All right. Now, I'm actually going to go through the actions of solving the problem down completely. So I'm going to square root this. I know it's not going to come out nice, I'm mentally prepared for that. I get, oh, did not anticipate that reaction. 14.22. We really did not like that decimal. Okay, negative 2.5 plus minus 14.22. By the way, when we are working in decimal land, I like 2 spots after the decimal is my go-to. And make sure you round, right? So you're cutting off here, but you also, if the next number had been like 8, we would need to round up. Okay, we have 2 problems here. We have negative 2.5 plus 14.22 divided by negative 9.8. We also have, hold on, I hear some people getting negative stuff. Don't worry yet. Yes, correct. So you're going to get 2 answers, but we're only going to accept the positive one. All right, here we go. This one, negative 2.5 plus 14.22. That gives me this decimal. And I'm going to divide it by negative 9.8. So this gives me negative 1.2 when I round up. Yep. Now remember, this is time. Am I a time traveler? Can I go back in time with my dive? No. I could probably somehow knock myself unconscious, but time travel, no. Okay? So that's not going to be an answer that we can use. That's not usable. Let's try the other one. Negative 2.5 minus 14.22. Then divided by negative 9.8. Do we buy it that the person was in the air for about 1.7 seconds? Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hard to count what you're flying.
Oh, you need the negative 2.5. You have a positive. There it is. Okay. All right, so this answer we take, usually one of these will be like a time travel situation and it won't make sense. So we cross that one out. So again, real life situations, decimals are okay. Also, typically there will be one that makes no sense. Not always, but sometimes. All right, ready to flip? Okay. We need to talk about just a piece of the quadratic formula today. So we're not going to talk about the quadratic formula as a whole. We're just going to talk about a part of it. And specifically the part we're going to talk about is the part that lives under the square root, b squared minus 4ac. So I want to talk a little bit more in depth about this value. So it has a name. We call it the discriminant. And depending on what the discriminant is, it really drives the type of solutions you're going to get for your entire equation. So let's say you solve b squared minus 4ac, and what comes out is a positive number. So that's what it means, positive. Any positive number you can think of. 3, 1/2, 17, anything positive. If your discriminant is positive, you will always end up with 2 real solutions. Now, those solutions could be irrational. They could be long decimals or things with square roots. Or they could be nice, but they're going to be 2 real solutions. Whatever type of number they are, they will be real. Okay? Whether it's irrational or rational is a different story. All right, what if it equals 0? So what if you do b squared minus 4ac and it equals 0? You have one solution. Remember, that was the one I did on the stick-it note yesterday. And then if you have b squared minus 4ac and it gives you a negative number, I don't care what negative number, negative 12, negative 50, negative 1/2, doesn't matter. any negative number, then you're going to have two imaginary solutions. Why would that be?
Because you can't square root a negative.
Right. Well, we can square root a negative is what we've discovered, but with the aid of the letter I, right? So, if it's positive, two real solutions. They might be nice or they might be irrational. If it equals 0, bless you, that's neither positive nor negative, and we have one real solution. If it's negative, two imaginary.
Can you use imaginary solutions in real life examples?
Yeah. All right, here we go. We're going to find the number and type of solution. So you need to read your directions today. If it says solve, you go on and do the full quadratic formula. But if it says find the number and type of solutions, this is asking for just b squared minus 4ac. So you don't need to do the entire quadratic formula. So you're going to drive yourself a little bit nuts if you do the whole quadratic formula for everything when you actually didn't need to. All right, what is my a value for a? 1. What is my b value? What is my c value?
36.
Okay. So we've got b squared. You still need to put it in a parenthesis house. Minus 4 times a. What's a?
1.
Times c. What's c?
36.
36. Let's see what we get. Ooh, we got 0? Nice. Okay, so if we get 0 for our discriminant, what type of solutions are going to come out of the quadratic formula if I did it?
1 solution.
One real solution. Make sure you tell me what type. So I need to know it's not imaginary. So tell me one real solution. So you should have 3 words. How many, what type, and then the word solution. All right, part B. What's A?
1.
What's B? What's C?
40.
40. Okay. B squared minus 4 times A times C. Well, this one's looking negative to me. What do we get? Yeah, me too. Negative 16 means what on my list of things up here?
2 imaginary solutions.
2 imaginary solutions. Another word you might see written instead of imaginary, just by the way, would be complex. So remember, complex numbers are a combination of real and imaginary things. So you could say 2 complex or 2 imaginary solutions. Either way, doesn't matter. Ooh, the last one I can't do right away. What should I do first before I pull out A, B, and C?
Add the 30.
Yeah. Move the 30 over so it's with its other buddies. X squared minus 12x plus 30 equals 0. So we want to make sure it's set equal to 0 before we do anything. Now what's my A?
1.
B is,
-12.
and C is
30.
30. Let me move this up a little bit.
Not the same answer as
You did? Ooh, it should be different. I've got a different answer on my paper from last year. B squared minus 4 times A times C. Ooh, I didn't even get 12 last year.
Pardon the interruption. Asian Student Union field trip students are now released to Four Corners. Thanks.
Okay. Minus 4 times 1 times 30. I got 24. Have you seen some of those memes, by the way? They crack me up all the time, where it's like, I got 4, I got -7, I got Thomas Jefferson, on like the math stuff. Those crack me up beyond reason, because I've been in that case, even though I'm a math teacher now, I've been in that case where I've gotten answers and I'm like, there's no way this works. Like, this makes no sense. You're going to answer Thomas Edison? Yeah, that's probably the answer on the quiz for one of them. Okay, so if 24 is the solution, how many, or sorry, if 24 is my discriminant, 2 real solutions. So you have homework for tonight, and it's going to be this, and I'm giving you one story problem. Okay? The story problem we didn't do yesterday. So we are on page 187 to 188, numbers 7 and 20 to 31.